Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the greatness of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas and the surrounding areas. People, places, experiences. Hot Springs Village is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we engage in weekly conversations to explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village. The award-winning RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village is the largest real estate office inside the village with over 30 full-time agents and support staff. Visit them to learn more about this beautiful place to solve your real estate needs. Call them today at 1-800-364-9007. Find them online at explorehsv.com. They are RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village at 1-800-364-9007 or online at explorehsv.com. Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Ike has qualified for State Farm's President's Club, Chairman's Circle, and Hot Springs Village Insurance Agent of the Year. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there.
Joined today by Miss Pamela Graves, who we have not seen before, but Miss Clara, I think we've seen you on screen before, right?
At least once. Absolutely, Dennis.
Miss Pamela, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. We are going to talk today about an area kind of near and dear to my heart because roughly 25 years ago, I bought and sold one lot in Hot Springs Village. And look what started then, huh? Look how we messed it up from there, right?
Well, I don't know. I think Cooper had a head start on you with his 32,000 lots in this
Cooper had a way head start on me. I was just following up. But Miss Pamela, unique. Pam, what would you say that your specialty is, or what would you say that you like most to do?
Well, I'm going to speak for Pamela. I call her the lot queen. She might not like that description. I should have brought in a little crown for her, but Pamela is so awesome at selling vacant land in our community because that's how you learn. That is a great way to learn how to sell real estate. Wouldn't you say that, Pam?
Yes, I agree. That's why I started on it with the lots. When I did, I was like, if I'm going to learn, I'm going to learn from the bottom and go up.
There's a lot of challenges to it, right?
Yes, a lot.
Oh, yeah. Lot boundaries, actual footage. How much is there actually on the lakefront? Is that really on the golf course? Is that really what it says it is? And do they really own it? Oh, my gosh. Any or all of that.
Clara, we can go back over the stories. The number of people that I've heard say, we met with a Cooper salesman and they sold us this lot. And then when we got here, it was this one down here. And I've heard, not y'all, of course, but I've heard real estate professionals tell me before, well, that's not a golf course lot. It doesn't have the G on the plat map. And I'm like, they did that sometimes and sometimes they didn't. So, I mean, there's a lot to navigate here, right?
There absolutely is a lot to navigate. And not only that, Cooper finished selling out the village in 2008. That was one of the many reasons they decided to pull up stakes and move on. Everything is we're in a resale situation. And of that, Dennis, you and I've talked about this countless times. We've got, roughly 10,000 water meters. Doesn't necessarily mean 10,000 lots, but we've got that portion of our community that's developed. So if you do the quick math, 10,000 minus that 32,000 we know we have, there's 22,000 other available pieces of property out there. So it's so diverse, so many areas, so many types of lots. There's just a lot going on. And Pamela knows it all. She's been there, done that and put her sign on a tree somewhere.
Everywhere.
And
Everywhere.
no, hopefully the right tree.
I got the landline app now because at first I did have a couple of signs on the wrong lots.
We've all had those stories. It may or may not have happened to me before too. I can understand that. But where I want to go, it's actually, Pamela, it's kind of like reading the rings of a tree. You know, on the west end, there's these bands, and on the east end, it came and went and started and grumped. And and I joke about the G on the plat map. Some of the ones on the west end, some of them of the old plat maps do have a little G or a B or a M for Mountain View or something like that, but not every one of them. And is it golf adjacent? Is it really, really common to the golf? Does it really matter to you? I mean, these are the kind of things you have to work through, Pamela.
Yes, I don't ever put unless it is legit on the golf course. I won't put view of golf course or anything unless it's legit on the golf course because I feel like that gives out the wrong information. So,
well, okay. So the person that calls and says, "Hey, my mom and dad had this lot. They bought this property, and now they want to sell this lot." Are you the lady to call?
yes, I have direct calls come straight to my cell phone just because how many lots I've listed. So,
And they can also check it out on your website too. What's that website?
Yeah. And I apologize. I blocked the name. It's P Graves, PGRVAVES at Remax.com because I expanded it to make it the full screen there real quick. So, Pam, what would you say what's the perfect customer for you? What would they look like?
I don't know a perfect customer. I mean,
I don't know. I'm going to step in. Ready, willing, and able buyer.
Yes, ready to put an offer in.
Exactly.
So let me ask this: when somebody calls and says, "Hey, I'm looking for a lot," how do you scope them down to what they really are looking for? How do you narrow down the choices? I mean, there's only 22,000 leftovers, right?
Yeah. So I ask them, I try to figure out what area they want to be in, and then I kind of start from there. If they want to be on the west side, east side, if they know the subdivisions, what subdivision they would like to be in, and then I just go on a hunt for them.
Well, I can see. Well, okay, Clara, I need to give an unlimited plug here or an unintentional plug here. So Diane and I held a product we had 53 Durante Way, overlooked Lake Lago. Okay. Randy comes to me and says, "Look, I don't want to go through real estate. I don't want to hurt you. What do you have that you think, you know us? What would we like?" And I was like, "Well, you'd like to be at the end of the road. You'd like to be relatively alone. You'd like a view of water." And, Durante was the beast. Sold it to him for what I thought was a very fair price. And it was fair enough. And then they find a house and end up turning around and flipping that and having Miss Pam sell it for them. Do you see that a lot, Pamela?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. There's quite a few people that'll buy the lot, plan on a building, and then they change their mind. And then buy a house instead. And they don't want to sell it.
She likes that part too, though.
Yeah,
she'd be happy to help them with that house purchase as well.
We're not picky. We'll just help you with anything, right?
Right.
That we will.
Well, I will make note that for Randy and Rhonda, they literally found a house that they weren't looking for, which is oftentimes the case, right? That just happens. But they found a house they weren't looking for, and in the middle of finding that house, they thought, "Wow, this is great. We wanted to build our dream house here." But as they started going through the projects, that's a lot of work, right?
I mean, it can be. I think if you have the right builder, it's not a big task if you have the right builder,
I think we've gone through all the issues though recently with COVID and supply chain shortage and being able to get the exact equipment and price changing and even mortgage rates. Oh my goodness. With all the variables that we've had, sometimes it's just a better deal to buy a house that already exists. But sometimes you want to build your dream house because you know exactly what you want, exactly what kind of lot you want to put it on. And in most cases, they already know what builder they want to work with. So
yeah, I can see that. I really can. And there are a lot of benefits. I mean, I love the house we have here on Lake DeSoto. I really, in a lot of ways, couldn't ask for more. except for maybe bigger closets, except for maybe vaulted ceilings, except for maybe, all the things that we think of in a new house today. And you don't think of it until you go, wow, that would be great. If we could just bulldoze that house and put it on that lot again, that would be great, right?
Yeah, but look at that view behind you, Dennis. It's gorgeous. I mean, breathtaking.
As a friend of mine who watched the podcast one time said, I love your podcast. If you would just get out of the way and let us look at the lake for 30 minutes, that would be great. I'm like, it's a valid option.
I could see how one of those
Pamela,
little that do this. Out the way.
and it's a beautiful day in late June here, and there are plenty of boats on the lake. It's about to be 4th of July. This is the glorious time of year that we wait for, right, Clara? Do you remember a time in January when it was near zero? Do you remember that time?
I remember those days. They're very vivid in my mind, and that's why I appreciate, we're talking that we might have a little hot spell at the end of the week and then another cold spell. I'm like, I will remember this vividly when January gets here. So
now, Clara, you're a Florida girl. Pamela, where are you from?
I was born and raised here in Hot Springs.
Really, right here in Arkansas?
Yeah, where'd you go to school?
Fountain Lake.
Fountain Lake. Now, not Fountain Lake, but Fountain Lake. That's how you know. That's how you know. Well, Pamela, if we wanted to contact you, I'm seeing your number here. Let me blow this up just a minute. So that would be 501-209-0284. Is that the best one for you?
That's correct.
What would you recommend people that have a lot? Because I know I get these calls twice a week, and I know Jeff, I know a dozen other people that get these calls and say, I need to sell my lot. Sometimes people are in a spot. I get it. It's a tougher environment sometimes than it is. What's your best advice for those people, or just call and let us talk it out with you? Is that what you say?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, let's figure out what they have and where it's at. Maybe
where it's located.
Maybe
I might have somebody already interested in that area. I could push it on, or
and that's the side for me. I have people calling and saying, hey, I want to get rid of my lot. I'm like, well, I'm not interested, and I don't know that many other people. I'm happy to send you my folks, by the way. So many times, I'll be very frank, I hear people, for roughly 20-something years, I've heard people call and say, well, my parents bought a lot, and they paid for these dues all this year. And here's my favorite quote, or my least favorite quote, I should say. And we know real estate only goes up. And I'm like, hold that thought. It depends on what you paid for it, but whether it went up or not, right, Clara?
It totally depends on that. And the flip side of that is, if we were in a metropolitan community, if we were north of Chicago, that's one thing. But we're in rural Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, and glad to be here. And vacant land prices have been very low and have maintained that area. So it's the good and the bad. If you want to build your dream home here, you can get some excellent deals on vacant land prices. And, unfortunately, for those who have paid their dues for how many ever years, those aren't monies you can get out. Those are monies that our community used to operate. So, double-edged sword there.
Let me throw out one, and I believe this to be the case. I could be wrong, but many times when people would contact me, if their estate had it, or a trust, or their parents, or whatever, if they did sell it at a loss after they averaged out all their POA dues, they could deduct that on their taxes for a couple of years, or for the next 2 or 3 years, I believe, as like an investment loss, if that makes sense, right?
They probably could. You know what? We are not in the CPA side of the house. We might have them call your wife or someone else like that to get some advice on what they could do with investment monies.
Let me see if I can find a CPA. Oh, they're she's actually in Hot Springs right now. But yeah, you get the point. Well, no, I've heard that many times. I guess what I'm saying is there are lots of variables here. And Pamela, they just need to call you. 501-209.
84.
209.
It broke.
0284.
0284. Sorry.
No problem at all. Ladies, it's been a joy, pleasure in meeting you today. By the way, this does not, as I understand, this is not what North Chicago looks like, but that's just my guess.
No. This is beautiful. Love the view.
It is. And Clara, we're going to have to catch up with more again soon. Pamela, pleasure meeting you. I hope to meet you in person someday. How about that?
Yes, sir.
Talk to y'all soon.
Thanks for watching and listening to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast starring Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com.